The Grand Canyon, a world wonder portrayed in countless photographs and captured beautifully by artists like Erica Fario. Perhaps you've been to the south rim of the Grand Canyon and looked at the rocks, the stratified layers of red. But have you ever dreamed about what it would be like floating on a raft inside the canyon? Gazing up at rock walls 1 mile, that's 5,000 feet above you, revealing millions of years of geological history? Have you thought about landing at a sandbank, setting up your tent, perhaps just laying out your sleeping bag, then watching the moon come up and sleep under the star-studded sky? You wake up early at your camp to the sound of the river and pinch yourself because you are able to spend a week immersed in this wonder. Do you even realize that there are side canyons to hike into where you can be at one with the landscape? Can you imagine? There are steep, stairmaster-like hikes through colorful spring brittle bush and delicate cactus flowers to viewpoints that are spectacular high above the river. Do you wonder what secrets the canyon reveals at river level only to those who raft along its course? Have you wondered, what does it feel like to be in those white water rapids that the Colorado River is so famous for? And do you have the stamina to walk 7 miles and 4,000 feet up the Bright Angel Trail to the south rim and out of the canyon? Well, thanks to you, Alan, our group will have a chance to realize all these dreams and answer all those questions. Our backpacks, filled with clothes for every weather condition we might encounter, are loaded. We have lots of beer and wine as we set off past the balancing rocks to our put-in point at the Colorado River. Rafts are at the ready, so now we must stuff the large dry bags with our packs and take only what we need on the river for the day in the smaller bags.
Yeah, I got room, I'll take that.
Grand Canyon is a drop pool system. Rapids are formed by side canyons, bringing in debris and rocks. Drop pool means we'll come up to a rapid, it'll drop, and then there'll be calm water below. This river is mostly flat water, so when we do get to the whitewater, it's big stuff. Common sense goes a long ways down here, okay? And that's another reason why you guys want to make sure those life jackets are super snug. We're going to pull you back in. We're going to use your life jacket to help you get back in the boat. You know, we go in a rapid and we hit a super big wave and it kind of kicks us off to the side. Now we're sideways going into this next big wave. We want to put as much weight as possible on that high side of the boat. Stay high side left and to actually get up here, grab a hold of the chicken line. Okay, good little spot. You know, in the rapid you can sort of tuck yourself in behind these bags and still see what's going on. If you're in a rapid, get away from the boat. Okay, when somebody down there will pick you up, 2 hands overhead like this means I'm not okay, or if you don't do this back, then we're going to assume that there is something really wrong.
Nope. Steadying. Okay.
Yeah. And then when you go to the back,
Come on back.
oh, Doug B, that's right. Here we go. We're at mile 0. 89 miles for you to go, 226 miles for us in 15 days.
Are you ready for this, Ashley?
I am all set. Bring it on.
Bring it on.
I know how to go to the high side of the boat to make the extra weight so we won't be flipping. I'm going to be in the moment, like they said.
So it begins.
See those people mooning over there? Zoom in.
I am.
It dates in about 200 million years. And then every halfway that we're going to see underneath it is going to be older.
Our guides are company owner Bill, head guide Dave, then Erica, Taya, Walt, Bree, Rachel, Jacob, Easy.
The canyon has been this way more or less for about 6 million years, but about 60 million years ago there was massive upheaval all along what is now currently western North American continent. So the Rocky Mountains were being formed, the Colorado Plateau was being uplifted. At the same time as all of that was being uplifted, rivers were forming and coming through this area and cutting through and forming a canyon. So the forces that actually created the canyon were just as much the uplift as the river cutting through it. So if you were to take a raw piece of bread dough and then you put a knife in it, and that's the Colorado River, and you stick it in the oven and the bread rises, but the knife stays in the same place, and then you're left with a gap in the middle. Right? So that's sort of in a nutshell how the canyon was formed. And all.
We experience on the first day how our rafting the river trip will unfold for the next week. Our guide will paddle. We will enjoy the ride. We'll stop on a sandbank where the guides will prepare us a delicious lunch. We learn the routine, very careful about hygiene and cleanliness, washing our hands as often as possible. Back on the river, we encounter 6 Mile Riffle and then our first rapid, Badger Rapid, a 15-foot drop. The Navajo bridges loom in the background here, our last chance to see anything man-made. Only from river level can you see 10 Mile Rock. Then it's smooth paddling until we arrive at our campsite, Soap Creek. We learn the routine of unloading the rafts and the accompanying 40-ton motorized raft and repeat it at all our other campsites. The motorized raft takes our dry bags. A week of this makes us very proficient. Next, unload all the kitchen supplies. Finally, the chairs, and lastly, the sleeping mats. Then it's buckets of cleaning and washing water, and congratulations and high fives all around. We're a great chain gang unloading these boats. Before settling into the chairs and having a pre-dinner drink, we have to find a place for our tent. Or maybe just lay out a sleeping bag. Often we hang out a few clothes in the trees just to dry. We have our bedroom and a great area for conversation in the living room beside the rushing river. Now you're wondering, how are we going to manage hygiene for the next week? Well, lots of hand washing is the first rule. All liquid waste goes directly into the river. Solid waste goes into this metal box with a toilet seat on it.
Here is the loo. And here is the view from the loo.
Keep this blue pee bucket beside your tent at night and empty it into the river in the morning. We eat really well through the week. The guides all take turns preparing their food. There's always enough for second helpings. In keeping with good hygiene, we wash our plates and then air dry them before we eat. Tonight, Jacob and Rachel prepare tortellini. Other times we have salmon, hamburgers, steak, and
A little bit of rice. Chicken fajitas.
our chefs always outdo themselves. Wake up, it's 6 o'clock, and then it's
Breakfast! Come and get it.
Doug, what's for breakfast?
Oh, isn't that lovely looking?
Often we make a picnic lunch because not only rafting, we'll be exploring. Pack up our belongings and load up the boats.
That's probably it.
Now, we have established the basic routine for running the river for the next week.
Move that boat.
Paul did that to us yesterday. Here we go.
How serene the soothing sound of the oars dipping into the restful river while we view imposing rock walls high above us. Now it's time for Geology 101 by Walt.
Know the canyon's history, study rocks made by time. And the first letter is K for the Kaibab limestone. The is the Toroweap limestone. E for canyon, coconino. History is the Hermit Shale. Okay, so that's know the canyon's history. Study is the Supai layer. Rocks is the red wall. Made is the Muab, which we just started out this morning in the Muab. By, when we're in the Bright Angel Shale, and then one more down below, maybe later today, or definitely tomorrow, we'll hit the Tapeats sandstone. The Tapeats. So that's the acronym. Know the canyon history, study rocks made by time.
Okay, Cliff, here's the Bright Angel Shale right above your head.
Every day we stop and explore the wonders of the canyon on foot.
Dave told us we had the Stairmaster, the Jane Fonda. There it is. I don't know what you got. Up this way. Down this way. Oh, that's a good one. I don't want my ass in the photo.
I'll get the side view. Oh, careful.
These are heart-pounding, exhausting climbs, but worth every step. Good preparation for our trek out of the canyon.
Did you get it?
I got it. The old saying, does my Buck looks big in these hiking pants.
Here and
Yeah.
kind of turn this into a rapid.
Let's go run some rapids.
Not me again, not Ashley. You did that on purpose. So that was President Harding Rapid. And as we like to say, it's not much of a rapid, but he wasn't much of a president.
Had a good run, good run. We got a little bit of water, but we missed the big holes. That was the main thing. So.
Your guys' job. So a dry boat is a super happy boat, and when we take on a lot of water, it goes without saying that it makes it that much more difficult for us to navigate these boats because they become very heavy. Okay.
Straight arm.
Jacob leads us all in a yoga lesson before we start running the river one day.
Try and release the back. And switch. Through all these guys, just take nice, big, deep breaths. We're gonna lace our fingers behind our back. Just gonna do a forward bend and bring them over the top. Arms out straight. We're gonna exhale as we go into this move. Ready? Okay, so if you can reach the ground, that's great. If you can't, you can balance on your knee or on your shin bone, however far down you can go. You're trying to get your torso flat.
Here we go.
More time to enjoy the serenity of the canyon and marvel at the awesome views as we drift along.
So the rock we're looking at right here is called the Redwall Limestone, and that's from the Mississippian period. And there's some big crystals in there.
Franca, what do you see over there?
So, do you see on the top of that hill there, there's a beer can wearing glasses with the nose and a
Okay.
mouth?
Look at the dust devil to your right.
Now we're getting into the Grand Canyon with all these layers, the walls, and the depth, and the height of the walls.
This is metamorphic, which means it's melted but not completely melted. And then the granite is igneous, which means it was completely melted and it just kind of squeezed its way up through the schist. So you'll see as we start going downstream, you'll see these veins of granite coming up through the schist.
After we complete our river running and establish our camp, we play in Allen's crib tournament every day.
On the corner of the block. Rough and ready. Well, you're
Go. I gotta go on 26.
Yeah, that's
Ernie and I actually never even made it.
I only beat Paul because of luck.
great playing. There you are, Bill. You're the winner.
It's the wrong way.
V for victory. You know, V for victory.
Yeah, V for victory. Yay!
Lots of sodas and beer cans over the course of 2 weeks. That adds up to a lot of space.
Okay, put this in the bottle.
Great job! Unbelievable!
Some of the brave ones clean up in the river. How cold was it?
It wasn't bad.
But there was a bit of shrinkage, though.
Our hike into the North Canyon was magical. Just look at the mocha brown walls with wavy and swirling patterns, all forming many grooves and ridges. Our lunch at the reflecting pool was just delightful. Evidence of ancient Native American people who lived in the Grand Canyon is seen in their rock art. Erica shows us their rock carvings, or petroglyphs.
Where are we going today?
Marble Canyon, and we're heading down into the heart of Marble Canyon. We'll be seeing Redwall Cavern today.
Redwall Cavern is a place pictures cannot do justice. From afar, it looks deceptively small compared to the towering cliffs above, but when you get out of your raft and walk into the gaping expanse, you begin to realize how big and really impressive it is.
Game's on.
Yeah, we're gonna need to get out.
The other step. Whoa!
Championship measured
Okay.
40 foot.
Our staff and guests provide us with first-rate entertainment.
Second one is prison bed. Sheriff's on my trail.
Suzanne is a funny old man. So, who is the man with a funny old sound? Ow, ow, I do know. Who is the man with a funny old sound? Harassing for Alderay. Oh, Suzanne is a funny old man.
So this gentleman, he needed to feed his family, okay? But he had a horrible stuttering problem. You don't understand. He goes to this place that's advertising to hire somebody to sell Bibles door to door. I'll give you a shot. Here, take these 4 Bibles. You go out and try to sell them. The guy comes back like an hour later. All 4 Bibles sold.
Yeah.
A couple weeks go by. This guy is the most successful salesman he's ever had. So he goes with them. The guy goes to the front door, knocks on it. Somebody answers, and he goes, I'm selling they're Bibles. And did you want to buy one? Or do you want me to read it to you?
Alouette, gentille alouette, alouette, gentille plumeray. Alouette, 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 gentille plumeray.
Whoa!
Plumeray no more.
We take a break from rafting today and hike to the Nankoweap granaries. These look like a row of square windows cut into the sandstone about 1100 AD. The mostly vertical trail is the same one the Pueblo Indians trekked, hauling their grain from the river to be stored here, where the food was always dry and safe from rodents. Breathtaking, magnificent, splendiferous. We have the ultimate view of the Grand Canyon here, once featured on the cover of National Geographic. Then it's back through the brittle bush and cactus to our waiting boats. Today, we are on our way to the Unkar Rapid Overlook. We pass remnants of human history in the rock wall dwellings on our way to this viewpoint. The Colorado River makes a hairpin turn here.
This is Unkar Rapids. There's a right line, there's a left line. There's like a 5 or so.
On a scale of 1 to 5, Tori's jump is a 5, Felice a 4, and Ashley a 2. What a group of now river-running aficionados spending our last day together at this incredible spot.
The Battleship Point and the Bright Angel Trail. So that'll be tomorrow, and it'll be a short day, 10 hours.
Alan is foreshadowing our 12-kilometer, that's 7 miles, and 4,300 feet trek we must make out of the canyon to get to the south rim after the rafting trip. It will be a long and exhausting day as we start at Phantom Ranch with our backpacks and water weighing 20 to 30 pounds. Our group will wave us goodbye, and we will begin the steep and relentless hike out of the canyon. We'll begin as early in the day as we can to beat the heat. At the outset, we'll feel strong and able striding along, even with those heavy packs on our backs. There will be rest stops along the way. Animal friends to admire. Eventually this trudge, that's 4,000 feet, and getting steeper the higher you get, will feel endless, incessant, unbroken, ceaseless, constant, perpetual, and even unfathomable. But after 5 to 7 hours, we will make it to the top and we'll look back on where we have been. I wonder how we'll celebrate.
Everybody is pooped out. Cheers with the beers.
Cheers with the beers.
Yes.
Here's the Arizona River Runners.
Yeah.
Here's the Bright Angel.
Bright Angel.
Bright Angel.
Too soon, sleeping beside the river in a tent, maybe under the stars in a sleeping bag, will all be a distant memory. But we'll clearly remember the rapids.
Can I make sure those that splash over the left side?
They're bailing as they go.